There's a whole lot of room over here, right? Alright, y'all, the next thing we're gonna do is part down the center of that subsection that that whole section that we just created our 90-degree haircut from. We're gonna part it in half. That's where one of these little banana clips will come in handy for you, because we're not gonna necessarily add it to this by adding it to the hair and clip. We need to kind of keep it separate so we can always identify the guide. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, I parted it in half. I separated it, and I'm gonna leave this side clipped. And now I'm gonna start on from the back, my back, on my right side. Right? Okay. Now, this is going to be the guide for the left, the right hand side. So remember that rule of thumb, if you're going to part horizontal, you can comb your hair to where you create like horizontal like lines. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Forward, so that then I can easily just part a thin subsection. This is very detrimental. I don't know how many times I go over this, and no matter how many different times I go over this, someone still does not grasp this. This is my guide. I will always, throughout my whole entire right-hand side haircut, I'm going to continually hold this section up at a 90. It's not going to be the whole section at once, but anytime I'm using this guide, I'm going to hold it straight up in a 90-degree position. This subsection that I part right here is going to go to that 90-degree angle, because that is the stationary guide. Okay? So now, I don't really have to, because I know what I'm doing, I'm just going to part it, and I'm going to comb it all together to my 90-degree angle, my first initial haircut. Is that understood? Mm-hmm. I'm going to comb my parted subsection to that, and you see how this is drawn or directed over? This is what creates the 90-degree, the 180-degree haircut. So we have a 90-degree guide, but now we're getting into our 180-degree cut. My guide is here. It's probably hard for y'all to see. See my guide? Mm-hmm. Right. I need to stay okay. So I'm going to work. My cut is going to be in front of me all the time. This section, what I need to cut is going to be in front of me. Drop it forward, because there's nothing for that hair to get confused with. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Always comb it forward to that guide. Drop what's necessary. Check your angle. Cut right on top of the guide. Guess what I'm going to do?
Do it the same thing again.
Huh?
Do the same thing again.
What am I going to do? What?
Part the next section.
Part another subsection. Use your proper language.
Next
Subsection, yes. And then what?
Add it to your first
Comb it up to your
guide.
initial guide,
Initial guide. Your stationary guide.
your stationary guide. See how it's getting wide here?
Yeah.
What you doing, Gina?
Oh, I thought you were doing what you said. I'm sorry. I'm coming back.
I don't have that much hair. Probably because I didn't cut it enough, but that's okay. You're gonna go through the whole entire haircut. You'll either act like you got some hair to cut, part again, another subsection. We're combing it up. You see how it's getting wider at the base?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? Who's wide at the base? Your subsection.
Who's wet in the boot?
So, I ran out of hair. I actually don't want you to go too far down. There should be like a preparation of a parting in your mannequin's head. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all see them all the time in mannequin's head. There should be one. So if you just stop there on that line, another part of the equator type of line. That's what I call it. Equator. Okay? Or if you can do this and just kind of make it go to the side, but just get a visual of how much of the hair I want you to leave out and not even comb up into it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So then, part my guide back out because I'm gonna need it for something else. Sorry. And put this back together. After you cut your section, clip it. And so you'll know that you cut it, clip it differently. So here's a visual of how you can clip it, clip your finger differently. But sometimes you'll get confused like, when you cut fresh, when you cut something, you see how I twisted it, and then I just clipped at the base right there. It's still tight, neatly taken away from everything else. You won't get confused because everything else is flipped upwards and stuff or in a knot. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
See that? So I'm going to first release my guide on the left side so that I can use that same clip and just twist it out the way and keep it clipped out of the way as well. Because again, we're going to use that later. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So. Notice I wet every section down and I make sure that each area is completely and evenly saturated throughout my cut. What did I tell y'all yesterday? If you have semi-dry hair and semi-wet hair, what happens?
You get an uneven cut.
So you create a what?
An uneven
An
cut.
uneven cut. Very good. Very, very good. All right, y'all ready? What y'all talking about here? That's what y'all talking about. She said that she did this. But send it down. I need y'all to focus on this. Even if you are bad. What am I doing? Shut it.
Reason,
You're supposed to sound like a
Oh,
tugboat.
I had to do all that.
You gotta be it.
It was soft. I had no board that time. I've already did it.
Bring your parts to your guide.
Your guide is cut it right about the same way. So I want you to see what I'm doing. Even with your guide, when you cut your guide, it's about the same way. It should be about 2 to 3 snips anyways, right? And so then when you pull that hair up, you can comb it all together and make sure that everything is going up to the 90-degree guide. See that? Yes. there's a moving and a stationary guide at the same time. Well, this is moving with my guides are this, but I'm also having a stationary guide. Alright, I'm at the equator. Mind you, I'm only keeping enough hair in between my,
Just like
the
another-
top of my, yes, from the top of my finger, not my nail, but the top of my finger to the second knuckle. So we don't let hair get past that second knuckle. You got some over there in your heart, honey? Me? Yeah. Okay. You're swaying awful hard. I hope you're paying attention. Also, make sure you're not way over there. Don't do that either. Not to this way. All right. Can y'all do this?
Mm-hmm.
Try.